and I've honestly never seen or run Magic Pen on Rammus. He does primarily do magic damage, so that'll definitely help him out in the engages, but that could potentially slow down his jungle a little bit. Not having that armor pen, I really think that it's just such a small difference, but going from having pure damage attacks to the jungle minions, could potentially slow down his jungle. And then also, I know a lot of people do like playing Rammus as kind of an anti-carry with attack items, and so the armor pen would help him there. But that's clearly not the way he's going with Magic Pen, so that'll be interesting to see how that works out.
Yeah, just working on using his shield and ultimate for the main source of damage, and it's a small amount with penetration, but it's still a noticeable amount for sure. All right, here we go. CV's going down, pretty standard. One thing that people do in games, I notice, is they'll put the CV down, but I think a lot of players don't realize like some of the benefits of using it. I think that if you can watch before you buy your items what the enemy is buying, you can kind of determine what items you're going to have to buy. So if you're going top lane as a character and your enemy buys, cloth armor and 5 health potions, and you just buy Dorans, you're going to get outlaned, obviously, because you have no sustain versus a really sustainable lane. So sometimes you have to counter by doing the same thing. So I think that's one thing that people should look out for, but just an interesting food for thought.
No, that's actually exactly right. I also, one of the things I look for is if the team looks like they're hurrying out of base. Sometimes if you see a team is lagging behind, then you might want to go very aggressively to their brush and set up. Clearly that's not the case here, but sometimes if you're really coordinated, you can go set up before they're even ready for you. And they're like, whoa, what's going on? They're already right in our base, and we just gave up first blood.
Exactly. That's all kinds of different opportunities. Of course, some of that stuff, when you invade like that, requires a little bit of coordination, which is hard to do. But, sometimes you get those teams that are just ready to go and they're all together. So that's good stuff. And everyone seems to be doing standard starts, with the Fairy Charm, three wards for the supports, Talon build with the boots, 3 pots. That's how I always do him as well. So, looking good.
Yeah, all the items are pretty standard. The one thing I would note is that, as we had said earlier, the Talon Morgana lane is going to be kind of an aggressive lane, and Morgana went Doran's Ring, which is usually a good decision for Morgana. It does give her that ability power along with the health, and the mana regen will be nice. And she already has that spell vamp, so that she will be able to regen in lane. However, if Talon can be really aggressive and get some early damage off onto Morgana, because she has that Doran, she's got no regen, whereas he has boots and health pots. So some early damage could definitely put Talon at an advantage in this lane.
Yeah, I can really see this working out in his favor. I like how Caitlyn put down 1 trap. Usually they'll put down like 3, but I guess she just decided to throw 1 down and run to the other side. And there you go. Talon's just going to be running around the creeps, throwing out those Ws, put down as much damage on Morgana as possible before she gets high enough to not really care.
Trundle's a little bit faster in the jungle, just a minor thing to note. Trundle is an exceedingly fast jungler. Rammus is very fast on his first clear, so I would have expected them to be a little bit more even. Actually, Rammus just caught up because of how fast he can clear the wraiths.
Yeah, he gets really fast from the wolves to the wraiths. He rolls out there. So.
Right, but then as the game progresses, Rammus slows down further and further as a jungler, whereas Trundle's going to speed up more and more.
Right.
We do see Rammus coming into the bot lane. He did hit level 3 from those wraiths, and so he's going to try and get in this brush. Those creeps are definitely not going to let him. They do see him, but he is coming up the brush. He is potentially going to run into a trap if he goes in there. No, he runs straight through.
Oh, he goes for the flash.
The Vayne shooting Sona up against that wall. They are able to pick up first blood. Wow, just really succeeding those disables one after the other. Pretty surprising to see her go down so quickly.
And I think that Rammus did a great job of missing that trap. I think he kind of saw it was there, so he went around it, just barely enough to get around it and flashed in to slow her down. That gave Vayne the ability to push her into the wall, and that was it. Very well coordinated.
Yeah, and so now we have Vayne, who, as we said earlier, is a very aggressive champion, does kind of beat Caitlyn in those 1v1 situations. Even though it is an extremely even lane, Caitlyn does have the longer range harass. So if Vayne gets some early items, from this, then, I don't know, very quickly, this could be an aggressive lane
that they could be a gank up top. Looks like Jarek is just able to teleport out in time, and Jenny's is like, oh man, just missed my opportunity. So that is unfortunate and actually pretty good for Jarek to get out of there like that.
I think it's kind of funny. But... Yeah, I honestly, I didn't see that fight top because at the same exact time, Rammus was ganking bottom. And so I thought you were, talking about that. So it was just interesting to see the junglers timing themselves so evenly, I guess.
Yeah, I was just looking at that mini map. I never look at the mini map when I'm talking, so if someone else is talking, I try and do it.
No, you had it. You were right on spot.
So I think that so far it's going to be a pretty interesting game. We've got a lot of games coming in from the Rammus. Here he comes once again, and he does hit Arcanine, goes in for the taunt. Of course, it's not going to last very long, but it's still going to be enough to pick up a second kill with the knock into the wall from Vayne. And man, this bottom lane is having trouble now. Rammus really making it difficult for these guys.
Yeah, they do have just those disables one after the other to go along with the fantastic burst damage of Vayne. And they really need to be careful, let the lane push into them a little bit, because very quickly they're letting bot lane get out of control. We do see Gragas coming in on top of Yorick. Should be even. He did body slam into him, but Yorick does have that heal, so they will be okay top. So most of the other lanes are pretty even, but already bot lane is just in complete control of this game for you, Mad Bro.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing about it is that they've got the ward for the standard jungler ganks, but since Rammus is so quick, he just runs straight up the lane and runs right into him, and they see him coming, they just can't get out of the way in time, and so, I mean, that just works out very well in their favor, and man, I just hope I don't start seeing that more in solo queue, because that's something I don't want to have to deal with. But we do have a gank coming up top. Looks like there could be something going on to this Gragas. If he can get out of there in time with his body slam, he should be fine, but he's going to take a little bit of damage. Just make it a little easier for Yorick to lane against him.
Yeah, unfortunately, Trundle wasn't able to exactly hit the pillar where he wanted to. If he had cut it off against that wall, then Gragas wouldn't have been able to go through the pillar, but he did have that kind of sliver that he was able to maneuver himself through.
Yeah, Gragas is so great at getting away from ganks. He's manageable, so if you do hurt him, he can kind of regenerate his health and his mana back up, and then he can scoot all over the map at a low cooldown. So definitely good that they put him up top, because if that were Talon, it would have been a lot different.
One thing that's interesting to note, I'm just looking at the items right now, and Rammus has a Madreds along with the Vayne. So even though Rammus went that Magic Pen, I was kind of mistaken about his build. He is going for a Wriggles, so that will give him excellent Dragon control, and then Vayne with her damage, will be able to take down Dragon extremely fast. So if they get, are able to push out bot lane one more time, probably in the next couple of minutes, then they might go for an aggressive Dragon. We do have Rammus powerballing up. He is coming on
Once
top
again.
of
Fail flash.
Caitlyn. And they did have the stun from Tarek, the powerball from Rammus, and Caitlyn is going to go down one more time here.
That is just too bad, man. That's 3 in a row now. Rammus doing the same thing each time, and I don't know where they would put a ward. They're going to have to put a ward, like, I wish I could ping and let you see it, but it's going to have to be that, I don't know, like that area where right next to the tower almost, in order to see him coming in. Because that's where it happens every single time. And then that with the Tarek stun, so even if she does see it coming, she's still going to get stunned, And that's a pretty good one. You have to admit, that's a really good combination. Tarek plus Rammus on the bottom.
Yeah, and that aggressive play has really paid off for them early. As we saw, they just picked up the Dragon, so that is huge. 190 gold for everyone on their team, as well as 4 of them were there for the experience. So very quickly, they're coming off to an early lead in this game.
Yeah, I almost feel like, I was like, man, it's not like they're playing too super over-aggressive in their lane. It's just that combination is ridiculous, because earlier she did start to get away, but then Vayne was able to push her into the wall and stun her for a 3rd time, for that second gank, and that was like, man, what do you do? It's like, there's 3 stuns in my lane. How do I get out of this?
Wow, and honestly, I'm just astounded by the way that you Mad Bro is playing right now. Not only do they have this lead, but if you see, all of them have wards essentially, and we do have an early Oracles onto Tarek, and this is extremely early, but if they can take this map control, not allow them to get wards to counterplay that Rammus, then, this could continue to snowball in their favor.
Exactly. This is where, whenever you're ahead, where an early Oracles is actually so good, because it allows you to snowball so heavily against the enemy team at that point. And look at this, level 6. They're not necessarily like levels behind here, but you can take a look and let's see, what is the CS? 59, 55. So they're actually not behind too far on CS, but the kills are going to make up for it. I guess that's the one thing that even though Caitlyn has been dying a lot, I guess there has been no big minion pushes up to the tower to make her really pay for it heavily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we see Gragas is going to be a happy camper. He's getting his blue buff. Trundle trying to steal it. He flashes over.
Oh, he does get it!
But Gragas coming in. He throws off the ultimate. And then Rammus with the Powerball. He's going to taunt him back.
He's done.
And Trundle's going to go down here.
Yeah.
Wow, it's just, really fast action, I guess.
So that's too bad. They, he was really happy. He flashes over, gets a blue buff, but ends up just failing for it. Oh, nice! And then a flash in to try and gank Mobafire. I don't know if they're going to be able to take him out. He does have his flash. Yes, he's able to get away. No problem. What a crazy game so far. Only 10 minutes in, 4 kills and a dragon being taken out. And that was an early dragon. Usually you don't see dragon until around, after the 10-minute mark, but...
Right, and they got dragon at 7:30, so
that's
extremely
ridiculous.
early.
That's really early. Yeah, I usually don't even expect to see dragon fights until after 10 and a half minutes. Oh, man.
They were actually joking in the chat that they're going to do a 10-minute Baron, even though it doesn't spawn until
15 minutes. Yeah, yeah. They are very confident right now, but they don't need to get too cocky because as they are doing pretty nice right now, they definitely have not won the game yet. We haven't seen any team fights happen, so I feel like the Yorick Caitlyn combo is really strong. I think that Caitlyn is the #1 champion you'd want to pick with Yorick, just because she's got the longest range and is primarily just an auto attacker, whereas a lot of other carries rely on using abilities to do extra damage, whereas Caitlyn, she does Q, but other than that, it's big auto attacks.
Right. And I guess while we were speaking, Gragas is going to be generally pretty safe in this lane. It is going to be tough to get ganks on him, but Trundle did come up a second ago and burn Gragas's flash. So for a short period of time, because he's currently low mana, if Trundle came back up again, they do have good ward coverage, so he should be okay.
Oh, man, that was very close in the middle. Talon there almost got killed. He was able to get his ultimate off right as he got stunned, and then she missed her binding. So, oh, wow, he actually came around and got a kill with his Ignite. So she stood around a little bit too long, got cocky, and paid for it. That was a very nice turnaround. Very well played by Talon there. Brad doing a great job. And then bottom, there's some more action coming down. Red Mercy getting caught, but he's got enough heals.'s going to be fine. He gets out of there, no problem. Dragon Raider, though, will not be as lucky. I think he got teleported on by Yorick. And Caitlyn's... That's a dead Caitlyn?
No, that's a alive Caitlyn.
Okay, well, yeah, I saw her little ghost after I said that, but... Yeah, that was pretty nasty.
Yeah, and so Gragas is going to get some free time top, but we were talking about, what can they do to counter this? We do see some damage going off in the Caitlyn, but they're going to be okay. But what can they do to counter this lane? And, just there, Rammus coming in once again for a gank, but as you said, the teleport from Yorick able to turn it around. So, definitely a excellent thing to see. I believe Yorick picked up a double buff. Yes, he does. So he's going to be exceedingly strong for the next couple of minutes.
Yes, he will. Morgana went ahead and went top so that they don't lose that tower. It is now below half HP, and I'm guessing that Yorick's just going to hold this middle lane for a little bit until they can switch back to their respective lanes.
Yeah, and Umadbro is going to miss some creeps. Yorick's pushing into the tower, and Talon was going top. He did want to switch with Gragas, I believe, so he could still lane against Morgana. But as a result, they are missing out. But Rammus coming in on Yorick, he's going to be okay. Talon trying to be very aggressive. He does see this Trundle here, and Trundle's coming in a poor situation. Morgana did have the binds, and Morgana is able to pick up the kill. Is she just barely? And there's the kill onto Gragas, but then the flash out from Trundle. He's just almost going down by Talon. He is able to get out of there.
Yeah, I don't think Talon wanted to use everything that he had. He wanted to be safe. Actually, his ulti was down, so he didn't really have enough to take out Denise without dying to Morgana. So there we go. Yeah, definitely don't want to lane Gragas against Morgana. As we saw, he did not fare too well there. And I think this mid lane could go down. No one's there to protect it. Talon has to stay up top, and he's going to do some pretty good damage to it before Gragas is back.
Yeah, and Rammus actually doing an excellent job here. Trundle did just die in that top lane, so right off the bat, Rammus is like, hey, I'm going to go counter jungle. What does Trundle need above all else? He needs his red buff to gank, so yes. Rammus was able to pick that up. The dragon has respawned because it was such an early dragon, and Rammus is nowhere in position, so we do see Untrollable is going to try and be very aggressive for this dragon so that they can kind of catch back up in the game. They're taking it. Gragas is coming over, but they still have a 4v3 advantage, and they're able to pick up the dragon before anyone could come in.
That was a great job picking up that dragon there. Top lane does go down, which is smart. If someone's taking dragon, there's nothing to do about it, then you might as well push your lane, and so they do that. But they are even up now on this dragon, so once Untrollable picks up a tower, then they're actually doing okay. They're coming back in it, and as I said earlier, UMB does need to continue to play well because they have in no way won this game yet.
Yeah, and definitely the key whenever you're down is to kind of assess where you are, not panic. And it looked like that bot lane could have snowballed out of control very quickly, but they were able to, play defensively. We do have Trundle bottom, and Tarek had walked into a trap, but they didn't engage there. Trundle still sees him, and Tarek way out of position. He does throw the stun off onto Caitlyn, but they're going to have the stone ult to be able to pick up Tarek very quickly. So just excellent job there with the patience from Trundle. But we do see a fight up top. Sorry, I'm missing out on the action.
I was watching the action on Morgana, but they were not able to take her out, and then that fight started there. So a little bit of a chase going though, and Yorick, that's his ghost, I'm assuming. Wait, did he die? Yeah, he actually did die. So yeah, lots of fights going on. Can't figure out where to watch because they're fighting everywhere.
While everyone is top, they are able to take bot tower. That dragon, the towers are even now. So, it's really just the kill advantage, and we do see the gold is, basically dead even this game. So, pretty even. They're only a 3 kill advantage for UMB.
Yeah, 1.3k, not too big. So, I mean, it's not going to be a game changer. Very even right now. Let's take a look here. Caitlyn is working towards her Berserker Greaves. I don't know if she's going to turn that into a Bloodthirster, or if she's going to do the thing where she picks up a Vamp Scepter and then goes for the Infinity Edge. We'll take a look at that as the game progresses. And Vayne, of course, doing the Zeal start. Let's see, most Vaynes nowadays will go for attack speed first because of her big damage from just landing her abilities.
Yeah, and it also gives her the movement speed benefits, and she already has the movement speed passive when she's chasing. It does allow her to kite a little bit more easily so that she can constantly be dealing that damage. We do also have Morgana with those early Doran's rings, so it's kind of like, getting a Rod of Ages, just a little bit cheaper, so she will have some early game capability.
Yep, so she is going to go for the Infinity Edge, as I was thinking she may do. And there's the flash over the wall, and maybe a little bit too late, but he does pick up the blue buff, so I guess, flash for blue. I don't know if you want to call it. Oh, there it is. Morgana flashing over the wall as well. She picks up 2 people on the ult. She's not going to actually catch Talon in the final amount, but Red Mercy does go down. No more Tarek for stuns. We're able to get Sona out of the way, and Vayne just flashes out. She says, I'm out of here, guys. Peace. Jarek hopefully can get away if he can belly flop enough, but he's going to take a lot of hits from these towers here, and I think that Talon should be okay as long as he... Yeah, there you go. Flashes to that minion, and they are very low. They've already lost the tower, so there's nothing left to lose here.
Yeah, I'm sure they weren't very happy with that outcome. They were trying to gank them at blue, thinking they were in the advantage. It was an even fight, but very quickly Untrollable turned that around, and it looked like they could have, maybe picked up a couple more kills, but UMB was able to escape successfully.
Yep, definitely. And Vayne actually, the blue went to Sona. She was able to get the kill onto Rammus, and then Vayne killed Sona. So the blue actually went back in their favor at the end there. So it was a 1-for-1. A lot of flashes being used. In the end, blue went to Vayne. So I guess it's you could say it's in their advantage.
Wow, Vayne already has a Phantom Dancer done, so she's going to be building damage from now on, and just really amazing how fast she's able to get her item. She is 2-0-2 right now, along with her CS at such an early point in the game.
Yeah, I think that she probably was able to survive that because of the fact she had Zeal. She was able to run just fast enough to get away from Yorick there. But yeah. I don't know. She might have been able to get away anyways. It was just kind of close. There's a ward there at the dragon area. And notice the placement. That's a pretty interesting placement there to avoid any pinks. And that does work very well. So if anyone's trying to avoid getting their rewards taken out by pinks, that's the way you would put it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that ward's just going to be up in time for the next dragon. It'll be dying a little bit after it, but it will be able to see if the enemy team ward's inside of there, and they do have vision kind of around the area if Tarek walks up to try and get some ward coverage.
Yeah. Yeah, he's actually going to have to walk all the way inside the dragon area if he's going to catch that ward. Yep, see, he won't know. And here we go. Let's see if they can work down this bottom lane. It is already pretty low, so if they can get this wave here and quickly just go hit it a few times, they'll be able to take it out. I don't think they're going to play too aggressively, though. As you can see, they're going to go ahead and back off. And, you know, not knowing where Trundle is, for example, is going to be a big one there.
Right. We do have everyone kind of grouped up around the blue. Once again, though, it won't be spawning, so I'm guessing they're trying to set up for Dragon. The Dragon shouldn't be up for another minute and a half. So I'm not really sure if they're trying to pick someone off as they walk into the jungle. We do have Rammus powerballing up. I think he's going to try and pick off this Yorick. He is going to just barely get... No, nice the snare from Morgana is going to help them get out of there. So I'm not really sure what they're looking to do. The Trundle pillar is able to section off Rammus for a second. They are chasing after him. Not really going to be able to accomplish much here. It's basically going to be a stalemate. So I'm surprised that they're missing out on all this top farm. We do actually have dragon spawning, so it's a little bit off on the timer.
They don't have a choice. They're going to have to give it up and go for this dragon because they don't want to give it up. Oh no! Talon does get caught into a binding, uses his ulti to try and escape with an ignite onto Trundle. He may take him out though. Trundle is pretty much out of the fight. Red Mercy gets caught very quickly, goes down. Vayne trying to run away as well, so she's now out of the fight. And there's the ultimate going down. It is blocked by Jarek. Very nice block there, almost too late. But the Trundle does stay alive, so they have all 5, and that's going to be a free dragon and a lot of lost farm up top. So definitely a nice win there for Untrollable, and able to just take out Red Mercy very quickly. And the fact that Talon got caught, Vayne took a lot of damage. They just did not position that well. The engage went perfectly for Untrollable.
Yeah, and we saw, once again, the early advantage with those, really strong single target champions that you Madbro have. But once they're grouping up as a team, they've got the Morgana ult, they've got the Sona ult, they have, the support from Sona to just keep them recharged. So they're playing very conservatively in these fights, waiting for their good opportunities, and they're finding them. So, very quickly they're taking control of these fights. So it will be interesting to see how you Madbro responds, because it's just been 6 kills in a row for Untrollable, I believe.
I feel like that could have went much, much better if Brad had not gotten caught into the Morgana ultimate. If he were able to jump into the fight on his own account and then go for Morgana, he could have taken her out almost instantly, and then that would have probably been much different, whereas he had to use everything onto the Trundle because that was the closest person, and he was like stunned and a binding, and he just had no other choice.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess I'm looking at the items right now. We do see Gragas went for the Rod of Ages, whereas Morgana already has a Rabadon's. So if you want to look at how damage output's going to go in these fights, Morgana's going to be dealing a lot, basically. Gragas is going to fall a little bit behind as far as damage is concerned, but he is going to be a little bit tankier, have that kind of regen from the Catalyst procs as well.
Yeah, she's got the poor man's Rod of Ages with the 3 Dorans. That's what I like to call it whenever people do that 3 Dorans build. It's kind of like a Rod of Ages in that it gives you some good mana. And oh man, Brad is he's just a magnet for those bindings. He's gonna have to really watch that Morgana closely and try not to get caught, because that is a huge deal. She's squishy now. I mean, the 3 Dorans gives her enough HP to be fairly tanky with the 1900 HP, but still, I think that with Talon's burst, he can probably take her down if he bursts everything onto her, and that would be a big deal in a team fight.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if he can take her out before the full ultimate goes down, if that were to be an engage.
Yeah, though, with how far into her item build she is right now, we'll likely see a Zhonya's coming out as her next item, and she won't have that for probably 10 minutes or so. But once she has that Zhonya's, not only can they not try and burst her down with Talon and everything, but then they can't use the Gragas ultimate to get her off, because she can just walk into their team, use her ultimate, and then Zhonya's, and Gragas is like, oh, well, this is awkward.
Yeah, Morgana is one of those champions that has a lot of ways to stop you from stopping her. That's why she's probably like one of the most ungankable champions in the lane. She just throws on her shield, you can't stun her, and she just walks away. So I see a lot of Morgana bans in solo queue.
Yeah.
It's just for that reason, just because it's it's like, okay, well, now you're brought down to ganking 3 lanes. Now you can only gank 2 lanes because if you gank Morgana, you're just wasting your time.
Yeah, I've been working currently in solo queue on getting wins on every champion. I'm really excited about that, but it means a lot of games that I'll let champs like Morgana, who are extremely strong, go by, and then my team's all yelling at me about how I'm not picking the OP champs.
There you go. So you got like an odd mission of trying to lose a lot of games. Mission. That just means you're going to lose a lot more games because you're playing champions
I'm almost done.
You're not super good with, right? You're almost done. Yeah, did you start this last season?
No, this season. There's only 15 champs left that I need wins on, but I did go 1-6 with Zillion. Though 3 of those games, I swear we had a DC. So I'm calling shenanigans on my Zillion record.
There you go. And it can't be as bad as my Rise one. I went like 0-8 on Rise. I don't even know what to say. I don't even. That was whenever that was like right after his change. I was like, I don't understand. I should be winning. Yeah. Anyways,
everyone's running around like, oh my gosh, this is happy, fields. We're running around and there's sunshine on our face because Rise is so good and so much fun to play, and you're just sitting there like in the shadows.
Yeah. I was like, I can't push towers. I was used to playing like Sivir and stuff.
Everyone kind of just running around doing their own thing right now. They recognize it's a pretty even matchup, but it really could go either way. So they're kind of just trying to get in farm and play defensively to not let either team take an advantage. I guess they're really waiting for that next dragon, though it won't be up for another 2 minutes now.
That's what's really going to come down to, and that's why we're not seeing a lot of action. Is just, oh, there we go. Nice little engage from Gragas. Gets the ulti down. That is going to take her out. Very nice. And now this is going to be a 5v4. Let's see. I don't know if any objectives are going to be up and ready to go, but this could be a tower if they play the cards right. They're still going to have to be careful because they don't want to get ulti from Sona and stuck into that. But
yeah, and I would expect them to try and push down this tower and be very aggressive because it's a 5v3 situation. Yorick did go bottom.
Yeah, he might actually
Vane's actually going to stop him from pushing. So she will have that red buff, potentially able to chase him down, but I believe that Yorick will be able to out-damage her with his heals. So she's just going to try and clear these waves. She's actually jumping in on top of Yorick, throwing off some damage, but she has to flash out because she's taking too much damage.
No.
And then mid, they did have a great 5v3 situation, and it's going to stall.
Yeah, well, looked at what they were trying to do, and it looked like Talon was waiting for his ulti to come up, as well as Gragas's, and I think he was on the other side of that bush waiting for an engage, but they just never found an opportunity for that to happen, so he ended up just going up top to farm there. And yeah, now Morgana is back, so I feel like that Untrollable may be in a stronger position right now with the red buff on the Caitlyn, and I feel like a lot of damage has been done to UMB from that poking situation, so they're going to get probably an easy dragon here if Talon can't get down there in time. And let's see, Vayne is now back. She has enough health, so Jarek is a little low on mana and health, and I'm pretty sure he has ult is ready. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there it is. Dragon down, like I thought, is an easy dragon for him. Now teleport going up top after that, and yeah, this is doing a really good job for Untrollable. I think that this is going to be a nice little turnaround from the early game.
Wow, did you see the pillar was like on top of Rammus?
Rammus was really bugged inside of that. That's kind of funny.
They always have that great killing potential. They've got the Gragas ult, they have those disables and lots of burst damage. So they will be looking to pick someone off again. If Morgana, I would think, has a little bit more presence of mind, there is enough travel time with the Gragas ultimate and the Taric stun that she can get a shield off on someone to protect them from that. We do see that, she is going to get the blue buff from Trundle, so that is going to help her with mana regen, but then also cooldown reduction so she can spam out those shields and start tossing snares in fights trying to pick people off. But in the meantime, Vayne and Rammus very aggressively are going to be able to pick up this mid tower.
That's a good job. So they traded a blue buff for a tower. I don't know, they just didn't have enough to defend that at that point. But yeah, this is a very close match. We should see Baron pretty soon. I mean, it's getting about that time. We could see some baiting towards it. And I feel like that's actually going to be kind of a big determining factor is in these games where it's so close. It's like one team goes for Baron and then the other team stops them and they end up winning because of it. We'll see. I don't know who. Could go either way. Kind of excited to see what happens.
I think that also contributes to why these teams are playing so defensive. So defensively, they do know that if either team picks off one or two people, then you can go for Baron at this point in the game with that 5v3 situation. And Rammus coming in, trying to get in, but the shield from Morgana, and he is going to be pushed off. Not really going to be able to accomplish anything there.
Yeah, he is just putting that that pressure, just the presence of having Remus in his really play. But there's a nice little engage. Jack had to pop his flash just to get out of there. And now he's going to get... Oh, man, that's all 4 or 5 people getting ulti there by Morgana. And it looks like all but Vayne get away from it. She does have... oh, man, lots of trouble there. This is really bad for UMad, bro. Everybody kind of just split up on the run. Oh, nice little job by Talon there. He was able to pick off that Sona. I think he is going to be on the run from Trundle. I don't think he can get away from this one. But they were able to catch Mobafire. He's just way too tanky, though. Talon goes down, and don't think that York is going to have any trouble with these 3 guys. In fact, he's just chasing 1v3 and having no problem. Oh, if that binding would have hit, that would have been nasty.
Yeah, I think they might be able to pick up the Rammus, but
Red Mercy going down,
potentially going to pick up this Yorick kill. He's taking some tower damage. He is going to heal and get out of there. And then Trundle is chasing after he does flash on top of Gragas.
Ace! That was so well played by Yorick there. He pushed in through the tower, flashed over the wall, and everybody else continued chasing. He came back around and just finished him off. He's way too tanky for them to deal with. They had no real damage output with just you know, having Gragas there. Gragas is more of a poker. He's not a sustained damage dealer. In order to kill York, you need sustained damage dealer. Vayne was already dead at the very beginning of that fight. And after Talon went down up there, they just had nothing left. And I think that's pretty problematic. They're doing a good job, and I'm saying Untrollable's doing a good job of taking out their main damage dealers, Vayne and Talon. And after that, there's just nothing left.
Yeah, and you saw that fight initiation by Gragas. He did body slam towards them before barreling, so kind of very aggressive, but almost I don't know, almost kind of too risky. Like he was trying to force the fight situation. He was just kind of getting that kind of desperation in that fight, and so he did get the ultimate off, but it didn't really accomplish them anything. They did pick up 2 kills, but it wasn't able to get them the fight that they wanted, and very quickly Untrollable was able to chase them down. And so it started off even, but then they continued pressing that advantage.
All right, this could be the Baron fight of the game right here. They're going to go ahead and start this. They have a lot of damage. They're going to get it going down fast. They've got no ward coverage. And by they, I mean UMad bro have no ward coverage to see this, but I'm sure they know it's there. So there we go. It is very low, and Vayne's still coming up. She's not there yet.
Gragas, if he gets his ultimate, could steal it potentially.
Red Mercy, always the first one to go down, dies once again. And Baron does get stolen, though. So very good job by UMad bro. Only they did lose 2 people in order to steal that. But nonetheless, they at least prevented Untrollable from getting that type of a lead. So keeping the game even up, at least a little bit. They're still behind just due to the kills and the dragons at this point, and towers and all that. So we'll see if they can hold it at this point.
Yeah, and Gragas is definitely one of the best Baron stealers in the game. With his Q and his ultimate combined, he deals about 1,000 damage, so easily more than Smite. But they will have an advantage here. It is a 5v3. They are going to take the tower and then try and push down on this inhibitor. Trundle very low, so they are going to back off. The snare goes off on the Vayne, and did you see it took like half of her health, down to a quarter health from that snare and that pull. They are going to set up around Dragon potentially.
Yeah, Morgana now with Hourglass, as we were speaking about earlier, so very, very strong and very hard to kill at the same time.
Wow, if you told me that this game would look the way it is in the first like 5 minutes even. I mean, UMad bro, they started off I believe 4-0 in that bot lane basically. But then very quickly, very even team fights, but Untrollable, just very calm, waiting for the right situations, and letting UMad bro have those engages, and then right off the bat counter initiating with Morgana and with Sona.
I have to say I really like this Gragas skin. I just now mentioned it, but the Christmas one, I've never seen it until now.
Oh, you've got to get the Baron Gragas. That's the best skin. Gragas Esquire.
Oh,
I like
of course,
Baron Gragas.
I think I've got that one actually. I like the Christmas one. I've never seen that. So here's another dragon fight. Rammus wants to engage. He almost hits the trap, but goes around it just in time, and they will back off. And let's see if Terry can continue or not get caught this time. Yes, he actually does get caught again, and again he goes down. Actually, no, he's still alive. He barely made it out that time. Nice job by Talon, able to take out Sona. He's always going for Sona every single time. I feel like he should be going for this Morgana, but whatever. She does die. And Vayne going down. Nice job from Caitlyn putting down her ulti and finishing that off. Now Talon's going to have to run out of there, and I think they're actually going to be split up and lose this once again because once they go down, they're going to be able to easily take out the dragon. Yeah.
And one thing that was interesting with that fight, Vayne the entire time was kind of being harassed, and so she was kind of just rolling all over the place, not able to do any damage. And Vayne, as the game progresses, is far and away the best DPS carry as far as damage output's concerned. But, you know, because she's that short range and Morgana's ultimate is definitely longer range than her attack range, Vayne was never able to, you know, feel comfortable in the fight, and she was kind of just being harassed and not able to contribute to her team.
Yeah, here's a problem right now is that you've got a team that is centered around just destroying somebody, but then you've got another team that is centered around like, go ahead and destroy me. We've got 2 tanks that can take you on one-on-one, and we've got a ghost of the strongest carry in the game who's going to be shooting you. And so you kill Caitlyn, she comes back anyways. If you don't kill her, she's shooting you from 2 ghosts, right? So yeah. There's nothing Vayne can do because she's got Yorick and she's got Trundle who's going to zone her out of the fight. And then all at the same time, there's 2 Caitlyns killing all of your team. So you really have not much left that you can do. And so Talon, he goes for Sona. He gets her every time, no problem. But then that really is not the problem in the first place. It's, right. You know, everyone else. So it's
stuck
really
between
difficult.
a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, I really like the team comp is what I'm trying to say. Right. Untrollable. They have a very, very strong team composition. I mean, it's very hard for Umadbro to get in there and actually do damage to them because even after all that I said, I mean, they also have the Morgana ultimate who, you know, slows them down, stuns them, keeps them back, all that stuff. So it's just like running through multiple brick walls to accomplish what they want to do.
Yeah, and I think Gragas, as a champion, he's always that kind of game changer in fights because he does have the poking capability and then the ability to just automatically throw someone off your team. But they do have the shields. We do see Banshees off of on Yorick, so he can be very aggressive with harass. Mm-hmm. And just the fact that they're playing so coordinated with their, you know, ultimates, even if Gragas is able to pick someone off, then very quickly they're just going to respond by Sona ult and Morgana and ult and everything.
Exactly. So really good farm here by Caitlyn. She's actually, or not Caitlyn, sorry, Vayne. She's actually doing really well considering that she doesn't have any AoE farm. I'm just trying to compare her. She's got the highest of anyone in the game, but she's just kind of been everywhere, clearing out the waves.
Mm-hmm. They are trying to get an engage onto Morgana here. Talon is going to silence her. She does get the shield off, but then she throws off the ultimate, and then Gragas is pick up the kill. So that's exactly what they need. They need to be able to use their single target burst and, you know, pick people off who are kind of lagging when they don't have that great team synergy and have everyone present.
Yeah, bad positioning. That was a 5v1. They took her out easily. Because of that, they're going to lose this tower most likely. Don't think they can defend this at this point.
Yeah, and Vayne just dropping it very quickly with that. She has a Brutalizer and then that Phantom Dancer.
Yeah, I feel like Vayne's still a little bit weak. She's only got a Black Cleaver for damage. She still needs either a Bloodthirster or an Infinity Edge to be doing, you know, her full damage. But she went for a lot of defensive items. She went for Wriggles, which is kind of defensive in the lane, and then she went for the Banshees, which is defensive. So she's just not able to put out the damage that she needs to do, I think.
And one thing that's kind of surprising is she went for Banshee's Veil, and a lot of times when you have those disables that you know the enemy team is going to get off, it's really generally a better decision to go Quicksilver Sash.
Yeah.
Yorick is going to be able to just use his AoE ultimate abilities and instantly take off the Banshees from Vayne, and then, you know, she's going to get stuck in those ultimates, and she's not going to be able to cleanse. So
well, lots of money that could have been spent towards damage items, I think.
Mm-hmm. We do have a lot of damage from Talon, and he does have that Guardian Angel to go along with the Last Whisper, so he is going to be ripping through people pretty efficiently. But, you know, again, both teams pretty even in items, and I don't know who Talon would really target. Like you said earlier, he can get the Sona, but what does Sona accomplish? And she is building defense, purely defensive items at this point. So what does killing Sona accomplish after she gets her off her ultimate? I mean, not that much. Can he go after Caitlyn? Potentially, but she bought the armor item. She does have that chain vest. And then they've also got that whole team around her where if Talon's being too aggressive, then very quickly they're going to try and pick him off. So
yeah, I still feel like Morgana is even though she's got her Azanias, if he can get a chance to go on her and take her out, she's the biggest threat early on anyways. I mean, anytime she gets a bind off, that's like half of your HP. So it's a difficult decision, but either way, they need to deal with her. But the fact that they can't get to Caitlyn is really a problem, and it bugs me. So it's like, what do you do? Like, you've got to deal with Morgana because she's the frontline threat. But then Caitlyn, if you don't take her out, she'll just single-handedly destroy your whole team. Except you can't get past them. So I don't know. It just bugs me because I'm trying to think of like, what are they going to do other than just catch somebody in a bad spot. So minus Untrollable making a mistake, I don't know what UMB has going for him.
Well, and I think this is when we'll start seeing a very slow fight. Greg is throwing off those pokes, trying to get a barrel, and that's what we're going to see a lot of. They're not going to look to engage except by Gragas. Yorick coming in, being very aggressive, but Trundle's taking a lot of damage from those barrels, and that's what Gragas can do. He can just constantly spam out those barrels to get his team in a good position, and then I don't think they want to engage a fight, really. They're just looking to pick off maybe one or two people after they poke, and then, you know, with those people down, grab a Baron and try and get some sort of advantage for your team.
Right, and so a lot of people will save their ulti from Gragas, but if there's not a situation, like if they're all full health and he engaged and pulled someone in, that could have actually been a lost fight. So what he's doing is he had a blue buff, he's using his ulti to actually poke. So he threw out the double barrel combo to poke down their team, seeing that they were all close together. And that forced them all back is what happened. So,
right. No, that's exactly true. And Gragas's ultimate, people don't realize it's actually only a 36-second cooldown when he has that blue buff. So 36 seconds, that's once every creep wave. So you can just, basically, and so you can just throw it out at the enemy team and harass them. You know, like you said, you don't have to wait for an opportunity to pick someone off, potentially.
Right. And let's see, what does he have? He's actually got Rabadons and a Void Step, so he is doing some good penetration on the resist from what Sona's given the teams. Do they have a? I'm surprised they don't actually have an Aegis on Untrollable, but they all each have like lots of resist individually. If you notice, all chain vests, lots of unbuilt items from chain vests. They've got Negatrons and chain vests.
Unbelievable.
Wow,
UMB was able to take the Baron right under their noses, and Gragas, they're going to try and pick someone off, but they don't really have a good situation. They are much stronger with this Baron. They don't want to give up any kills at this point.
Big damage onto that.
Gragas ultimate taking Caitlyn down to half health. Morgana, Zhonya's in, but her ultimate didn't go off on anybody. No, Talent jumping in, trying to pick up a bunch of kills.
Oh, that was kind of greedy, but he does have his GA.
Morgana.
Nice job.
Gragas and Vayne are going to try and chase them down, maybe pick up a kill. No.
That was a risky play and it worked out. Nice.
Ow. Right, I mean, just right there, all of a sudden, complete momentum swing. Everything was going in Untrollable's favor, and then the free Baron.
Oh my god, he's going to flash in trying to get somebody here. It might be in his best favor to not do that, because he was going down quickly. But they did take out a tower. Oh, are they going to get Caitlyn? Oh, she's so low, and she's not going to go down. She's going to have to run away and go heal. Oh, wow. This is getting so crazy right now. They're going to be able to get out of here with a free inhibitor. They got the Baron. They can probably take this bottom tower down, but they're going to have to tank it manually. They don't have no creeps there. All the creeps are pushing in each lane. So there we go. They're going to not have any trouble doing that. And they're just going to back out. And that was a nice momentum switch, as you said. I still don't think they've won the game yet. They're going to have to get some more good engages like that. But that's exactly what they need to come back from this. Now with that inhibitor down, it's going to give them the opportunity to have much more map control, farm up, and just be really, really strong. Oh, no. Gragas don't get caught here.
And I think a big thing is that because they have that inhibitor, they can play at their pace of play right now. And you know, we've always been saying Gragas is that game changer, and he wants to play very slow. He's not looking to, you know, be too aggressive. He's not looking to speed things up. He just wants to be nice and slow. Let me kill you over time. Well, they have an inhibitor now, so they can just set themselves up at a tower and allow Gragas to just be very slow and methodical and poke these people down while this mid lane is just going to be constantly pressuring their base.
Exactly. That's what they want. See, Team Untrollable wants to go in and engage all in, and if UMB can get Yorick to use his ulti on Caitlyn, and then they can survive that and step back and then just continue going forth, then they've got the advantage at that point.
Yeah, and though it is something to note that Caitlyn and Yorick are definitely not as strong of a late game champions as their counterparts of Talon and Vayne. Caitlyn,
Right.
definitely more of an early game champion. She will do a ton of damage with her abilities right now because she
Yes.
has all those items, and then along with the Yorick ultimate. But Yorick really isn't doing that much damage on his own. He's kind of a support champion, a tanky support champion. Aside from his ultimate on Caitlyn. He doesn't really contribute the most DPS or burst ability.
Oh wow, did you see this? Vayne actually picked up Guardian Angel.
Now, that's actually a really strong decision because we've seen a lot of these fights are going very quickly with the burst damage to Untrollable. And with that Guardian Angel, she can just be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to take a Sona ult to the face. I'm going to take a Morgana ult to the face. And then, guess what's going to happen
Roll right
once
out
all of
of
your
there.
abilities are down.
That's exactly right. So this is looking good. This is looking good. They're going to have to be careful here. Ramus is getting a little bit slowed down, but I think he should be okay. Oh, Sona ult going down. That was actually really good Sona ult. They're going to be able to take out one of them, maybe.
Yeah, Tarek's going to go down very quickly. Vayne
close.
is trying to do some damage onto Yorick, and Yorick flashes over the wall, just able to get out of there.
She's actually fighting the
but
ghost right now.
She's fighting the ghost.
Which she
So
had to
that's-
do, so...
Yeah.
mean,
I
it
guess
was
that's
doing
exactly
work.
what you want to use the ghost for if you can get the other DPSer in a 1v1 showdown with it, since it's not really hurting anybody.
Yeah, it created a tank, basically, that does a ton of damage. A free
I was a
switch
little
tank.
bit surprised they weren't able to pick up the Trundle. They got the Gragas ultimate and tried to pick him up real quick, but just didn't have the damage there. Vayne wasn't with the team yet, and they're going to have a snare, not able to pick anyone up. They are going to try and run away. Trundle flashes in,
nice
kills
flash
damage,
pillar.
turns around. The perfectly placed pillar. Gragas trying to throw some barrels over the wall. He could have thrown his ultimate and killed Sona here. Maybe he's trying to get into position.
Yeah, they need to be very careful at this point because now if Brad gets caught here, he's going to go down. This was a very big mistake on their part. Why did they stay in with two people up top after they had already lost Tarek? I feel like that was just not the best decision to make.
And they were such low health. I mean, they did have a couple of
Oh
G8.
no! What is going to happen here? Is Gragas going to go for a kill? Oh my God! It was so close.
Oh
He just
my
needed a little
gosh.
more damage, and she
I'm
just
dying right now.
Wow! I was getting real tingly there watching that happen. Oh jeez. They are being risky as heck, but they want to make something happen here. Oh, are they going to be able to make it happen? It's going to be very close. And
Yes, it's going to go.
he's going to go down, but they're going to want to get out of there quickly because, okay, they're good. Nice. That was a great job. And Yorick is in chat, and he's not happy.
He's dumbfounded.
He's
He
dumbfounded.
thought he was safe, and then all of a sudden, Gragas flashed over a wall.
Oh, Yorick ult glitched, he said. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, it didn't come back out, so he wasn't able to use it. That is too
Wow.
bad. That is too bad.
I can't believe how back and forth this game has been so
Oh my
far.
gosh,
But
I agree. Vayne has got to the point where she's pretty scary. She didn't really get any more damage items. It's just that she got survivable. So,
yeah, and she will, naturally have that great damage, and then with all of that attack speed that she already has. I'm not sure if she would look to sell anything. I guess probably not. She's going to just be picking up elixirs from now on to cap herself off. Maybe selling the
I'd rather
Berserk
sell the Wriggles, to be honest.
Sir. Oh yeah, and Wriggles actually, yeah, she will be looking to sell
That
Wriggles.
gives her some armor, but she can pick up like an Infinity Edge and...
No, yeah.
Yeah,
Or Bloodthirster if she really wants that lifesteal.
exactly.
But, right.
Yeah, that would be nice too. She
Yeah.
actually doesn't have any other than the Wriggles, so she would probably be okay doing that. That's a good idea too.
And one thing that would be nice is Tarek's not building towards it, but because they have Vayne and Talon, that he might have considered getting a Stark's Fervor
Stark's,
because
yeah.
it does give that armor pen aura, and the big benefit is not only is it going to help them with the lifesteal, but Talon, since he's all physical damage assassin, that natural armor pen would just destroy people, and that's why you were talking about Aegis earlier. And it is really surprising. Aegis generally counters the AoE abilities of Talon and Gragas pretty well because of the buffs that it gives to the team, and they just kind of decided that they didn't want it this game.
Yeah, they all just individually got nice armor items. Let's see. Let's just click on everybody here. We've got... oh, I can't do it that way. Okay.
Well, I mean, they
This
do
is-
have Frozen Heart onto Yorick, which helps them out.
Yeah,
They all
reduces
kind of-
cooldowns. That's a big one.
Yeah.
So 262 armor on Yorick. Very hard to kill. Morgana's even got 166 now after, Zanya's. It'd be nice to have that aura though. Let's see, Trundle. Yeah, they've all got lots and lots and lots of resists.
But look at top tower. In the meantime, because they're stalling at this,
it's gonna die to these creeps, isn't it? Yes, it will.
It's
and
pretty close.
Baron is up, so they can't just leave Baron. But
right.
This is gonna be a really close fight. They're gonna get Trundle. Don't know if this is the best target, but if they get him low, that's good. So they're gonna be going down very quickly now, and Talon I think took her, or no, it was actually Gragas. There we go. There's a Banshee's Veil actually on Caitlyn, so she's still alive. Wow, this is bad. This looks like UMB Broken is gonna win this fight here.
Yeah, Talon able to knock off.
Jeez, look at Red Mercy just barely lives to that Caitlyn ultimate. She dies right after using it.
This could be game. Talon just finally used his Guardian Angel, but they have 4 people up to the 1 from Untrollable. This is definitely going to be GG.
Yeah, they'll take these 2 inhibitors, no problem. There's nothing they can do to stop it.
Did you see Gragas just teleported in for that kill? He teleported into the base.
Oh, is that how he got that? I thought he just walked around. I guess I didn't pay attention. Oh, my goodness, that was a nice teleport. So there we go. They're going to take these 2 towers, and that was such an amazing game. I really, really thought for a second that Untrollable was going to get that, but UMB, bro, they just stuck it in there. They had a great Baron fight. I think that's where they really turned he flashes in just to get to the turret faster. So I think that Baron fight at the beginning there really is where it turned around. They were able to catch that, I think it was a Koch Morgana with a nice Gragas ulti. They took her out after they picked up that Baron, and it was just perfect. I mean, just perfect.
And I've got to be honest, I think that they might need to ban Gragas, because a lot of that game came down to Gragas' ability to just take people out of the fight right away, and then also kind of drag fights on. And then they might need to try and do something different bot lane. Maybe not allow them to have Taric. I think they might be comfortable with Vayne, though they might end up banning Vayne. But they definitely, I don't think, can let them have that really aggressive combo
I think they'll
once
ban
again.
Graves, though, not Vayne.
No, I think you're absolutely right. I don't think they have to ban Vayne, but I think they might consider getting Taric early, or maybe even going for Soraka, since she